Okay, so good afternoon, students. Okay, so I am waiting for 2 more minutes. Okay, I am waiting for the others to join. After 2 minutes, I will start. Okay, so good afternoon, all. So I'm starting my lecture today. So in the last class, okay, so I'm just showing you the recap of the previous class, what we have discussed. So we have discussed about the types of the converters. Okay, so if you can remember, we have discussed what are the types of converters and different configuration or the choice of configuration of the converter that we have discussed, and types of converter we have discussed in details. That what are the different types used, what are the types that were used earlier as converters, and we have also discussed the converters design are generally the same for rectifier and inverter. Okay, so depending upon the firing angle of the thyristors or the power electronic devices used, the in rectifier can be means the operation of a rectification can be changed to, or you can say the inversion. That means the rectifier can be used as an inverter also. Okay, so that means in a converting station this similar kind of setup is there. Now we have discussed about the line commutator converters or the current controlled. Okay, and we have discussed a brief one details about that, and we have also discussed about the Mercury arc valve based LCCs, that is the Mercury arc valve based line commutator converters, and then we have discussed the thyristor based line commutator converters. So generally thyristor based line commutator converters are used nowadays. Okay, Still, in modern cases, in the advanced techniques, VSCs are generally used, that we will be studying later in this lecture, where IGBTs are used, which are having better, you can say, control or operation compared to the thyristors. Okay, so first of all, we will discuss about thyristors. There is a line commutated 6 pulse bridge. Okay, so line commutated 6 pulse bridge. Now tell me, what do you mean by a 6 pulse bridge? Because I think you have studied in your power electronics. Okay, so in which semester there was power electronics? Which semester you studied, Deepak?
Sixth, sir.
6th. Okay, so I think you have gone through this particular 6 pulse bridge. That means 6 pulse rectifier, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just asking because I need to know that, means you have to interact also, because this particular subject is mostly related to power electronics. Basically, this particular chapter, you can say, the converter one. Okay, so what do you mean by a 6 pulse rectifier, a 3-phase 6 pulse rectifier? What is 6 pulse? Why not 3 pulse? 3 pulse is also there. So what is the difference between 3 pulse and 6 pulse? Can you tell? Or even Ansari can also say. Ansari, do you remember?
No, sir.
Okay, so what is 6 pulse? What is a 6 pulse rectifier? I think you have studied. Do you remember?
No, sir. I'm not in that class, I think.
No, no, I'm talking about the power electronics subject which you
Yes,
have
sir. Yes,
studied.
sir. Yes, sir. 6M. I think I didn't attend that
Oh,
class.
acha, acha, acha. Okay, so this is very, very important
Yes.
part, okay, 6 pulse, because you need to understand that first. Okay, I will explain. Okay, so see, this is a description. So there is this basic bridge which is used for the line commutated converter. Okay, the basic LCC, there is a line commutated converter configuration for the HVDC, uses a 3-phase Grace bridge rectifier. It is called the 3-phase Grace bridge. Grace bridge is nothing but the 6 pulse bridge. Okay, which contains 6 electronic switches, each connecting one of the 3 phases to one of the 2 DC terminals. So this is the circuit diagram. You can see this is a 3-phase AC supply. Okay, so we have 3 phases R, Y, B, and this is the rectification of the AC to DC. Okay, so AC to DC rectification is there, and we have 6 different thyristors, naming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The namings are not, you can adjacent to each other, because depending upon the operation, because at a time any one pair, that means any 2 thyristor operates. Okay, like 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 5 and 6. That is why the name is being given in this way. So you can see V1, V2, V3, they are not side by side. It is V1 is over here, V2 is over here. Why V? V means the valve. Valve is nothing but the set of the thyristors, because it is not possible for a single thyristor. Okay, depending upon the power rating, current rating, voltage rating. So generally these are grouped as valves. So this is one valve 1, this is valve 2, valve 3, valve 4, valve 5, valve 6. So 6 valves of thyristors are there. Okay, so each valve is connected to one phase, and the valves are also connected to the DC terminal also. So they are generally kind of a parallel but star connected in this fashion. Okay, so a complete switching element is usually referred to as a valve. That means the complete switching element. That means one particular valve may have more than one switching elements. Okay. Okay, so normally two valves in the bridge are conducting at a time. So one to a phase on the top row and one on the bottom row. So generally, as I've told you, that suppose V1 and V2 is operating, then after that V3 and V4 will operate, and then V5 and V6 will operate. That means one particular, you can say, bridge is, or one particular valve is operating at a time. So the two conducting valves connect two of the three phases in series to the DC terminals. Thus, the DC output voltage at any given instant is given by the series combination of the two AC phase voltages. That means it is operating as a series combination. So ultimately, the 6 pulse. So I will show you a video also. So how this operates. So that will be more interesting, and I will also show you the difference between three pulse and 6 pulse. Because we also have 12 pulse also. So nowadays generally for thyristor based LCCs, that is the line commutated converters, which we use thyristors, 12 pulse are generally used. Okay, but in VSCs we use 6 pulse because 12 pulse is not important. Okay, so thus for example, if V1 and V2 are conducting, the DC output voltage is given by the voltage of phase 1 minus phase 3. That means if these two are operating, then the output voltage, that is the DC output voltage, will be the voltage across V1 minus voltage across V2, in that way. Okay, that means in the first phase and third phase, because V1 is connected to the first phase, that is R phase, Y is the second phase suppose, and B is the third phase. So first phase and third phase, it will be V1 minus voltage of V1 minus voltage of the V2, that is third phase. Because of the unavoidable, you can say what, beneficial inductance of the AC supply, the transition from one pair of the conducting valves to the next does not happen instantly. That means the transition does not happen. Now I think I need to show you the video, because otherwise the operation you can understand. Okay. Okay, so I think it is visible. Okay, so you can see the video effect also. So you can see these three phases are there, R, Y and B. Okay, three phase, because the HVDC transmission is taking place in three phase, because we generally we all generate power in form of three phase in the thermal power plant or hydel power plant. That means generating station generates power in three phase. So the transmission also takes place in three phase, but in HVDC the transmission takes place in DC. But before it is converted to DC, the power which is there, okay, it is already in AC. Okay, so what it does, as you all know, because in the first two lectures only we have discussed the actual operation of the HVDC, is that the power which is generated from the generating station is received at the AC segment. Then it is stepped up, because the HVDC operates at more than 700 kV. Okay, 500 kV, 700 kV, 800 kV. So it is stepped up using a converter transformer. Okay, so the converter transformer steps up the voltage, and obviously transformer works in AC, so we are getting AC voltage, and after that the converter station comes, then it is rectified to DC. So we are now talking about this rectification. After the voltage is being stepped up by the converter's transformer, then it is being rectified. So how it is rectified, that we will see. So this is the three phase RYB, we all know. Now we have the particular 6 pulse rectification bridge, that is a Grace bit, that is the LCC 6 pulse rectification bridge. So this is the diagram. You can relate with this diagram also. Same thing. Here we have the three phase input, and the 6 different transistor, or can say valve setup is there, 6 pulse. Okay, So see, valve number 1, valve number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So their arrangement is universal. In everywhere in the world, you will see that this arrangement of the 6 pulse bridge is there. Okay. Now, pulse means, if you see, this is one, if you consider the red line, okay, first of all, I should go back. You can see the red line or red phase. So it is starting from here, it is ending over here. So this is one complete cycle. If you see the blue one, this is one complete cycle, and the yellow one, this is one complete cycle. So if I highlight, I think I cannot highlight over here. Okay, so for that I need this way. Wait, no problem. Okay, so can you see this? This is the 0. Okay, so this is one particular segment, this is another. Okay, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see this red line, red phase is starting from here. Okay, this is one half cycle and this is one full cycle. So this is, suppose this is pi, this is 2 pi. Okay, now see, the complete cycle is divided into 6 segments. The complete cycle is divided into 6 segments. This is called, why? Because we are working with 6 pulse. Okay, so that means for every cycle we have 6 pulses of rectification. Okay, now this yellow is also having, is starting from 0 to 2 pi. This is one complete cycle. So the span of one complete cycle is from here to here, and the total span 2 pi is divided into 6 segments. Okay, 6 segments is divided. This segment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. Now, as you see, the first one, when power is traveling like this, see, at the first segment, okay, first segment, only see red phase is having maximum amplitude is positive. Okay, now yellow phase is not having its maximum phase, maximum value, peak value, and blue is also not having the peak value, because yellow is having peak value over here and blue is having peak value over here in the second segment. So in the first segment, only red phase is having the peak value. That is why the rectifier will only rectify the phase which is having the peak value for that particular instant. Okay, for that particular phase. So red is having the peak value, so red is rectified. So you can see this one, it is the output, this is the input, this is the output. So after rectification, only this part is observed, visible. Okay, because this is forward biased, all are reverse biased. Then in this case, it is negative. So negative is traveling in this way, reverse bias way, because it can travel. It is negative pulse. Okay, polarity is opposite, but not negative because it is having the opposite polarity with respect to the red phase. So it is blue which is having, see, negative magnitude. It is having negative magnitude. So in the second segment, blue is having the peak value. So that is why this is being rectified. Okay, and the third segment, in the third segment, the yellow is having the peak value. So yellow is rectified. Yellow phase is rectified. Positive, it is forward biased. Positive magnitude. Okay. Okay. Now see. Now this is negative. Now in the fourth segment, negative peak value of red is there. So that is why the thyristor 4 is being reverse biased, because the negative magnitude, negative amplitude. So negative amplitude, it is reverse biased. So you are getting the rectification of the fourth segment. Okay. In the fifth, we have this blue. So blue phase is again rectified. And after that, the yellow, which is again negative phase, it is rectified. So you can see in these 6 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, each phase is rectified twice. Okay. So since In a single full cycle, in a complete cycle, the rectification takes place in 6 segments. We call it a 6 pulse rectifier. We call it a 6 pulse rectifier. Okay. Now, in the rectification is always not smooth, because there often happens that, see, the rectification is going on like this. So this is the pulse. 6 pulses are there. Rectification takes place in this way. Now there is some transition period. You can see there is some transition period where, due to the inductance, okay, there is no smooth rectification is not there, and there is chance of overlapping also. Okay, that is why the rectification is not always smooth. So there is some, you can see some distortion. It is observed that there is some distortion in the rectification. That is why it is smooth. It is smoothened using a filter. Okay, it is always smoothened using a filter. Now generally filters are inductor based or capacitor based. So capacitor based are generally widely used because it has more advantage, because the smoothing takes place in a better way in capacitors. Why? Because capacitors store charge. Okay, and when it discharge, it gives a smooth voltage. So you get a straight line like this. So okay. Now let me show you the difference between the different means this one pulse rectification. Okay, okay, so I'm just showing you the, first of all of you know what is a half wave rectifier. Okay, if you see a half wave rectifier, that means we are talking about single phase. So single phase, in single phase we observe half wave rectifier like this. Okay, it is a half wave rectifier, because if I wait once again, if I draw the dotted line like this, this is one segment, this is another segment. Okay, wait, okay, let me draw the 6 different segments. That will be easier for you to understand. 6 segments. Wait, I will show you in different color. Okay, this is, suppose you can, I think you can see the green color. Segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4. Since you have not studied the 6 pulse well, or you have missed out. Okay, so see, I have drawn 6 segments. Now I have a single phase. Okay, now the rectification of the single phase, because this is pi, this is 2 pi. Okay, so that means what will be this angle? You can say, what is this angle? First one, this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, Deepak, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you remember this particular diagram, waveform, which I am going to show now? Or shall I repeat for once again, so that it will be clearer to you, the concept of 3 pulse and 6 pulse. Shall I repeat that portion? Because it was actually assumed by me that you already know. But since Ansari told that he have missed out, so I am just asking whether you have missed out or not. Should I repeat this part? Full wave and...
Yes, sir.
Okay, I should. Okay, so tell me, if this is pi and this is 2 pi, that means this is one complete cycle. So from here to here, this is half cycle, and here to here this is one complete cycle. Okay, so that means if AC supply is, if AC is flowing, then the AC would have been like this. Okay, AC would have been like this, one complete cycle, 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so what is this angle then? If I have divided into 6 different segments, if this is pi, so this one will be what happened? Pi means what in degree? What is pi?
180, sir.
180. So this one will be
60, sir.
60. So that is pi by 3. If this is pi and this is 1/3, so this is pi by 3. Pi by 3 means 60. This is 2 pi by 3. Okay, and so on. So that means if this is the AC supply, suppose this is one complete cycle, so this is 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so the rectification will be like this from this, and this is pi and this is pi. Okay, so the rectification will be from 0 to pi, only one cycle, and rest one is straight line. Why? Because it is a half wave rectifier. Okay, half wave, only one diode. Okay, that is a half wave. Now for a full wave rectifier, if I want to draw a full wave rectifier, then the full wave will have 2 sets of diodes. Then the same thing will look like this. Isn't it? Full wave, because full wave means the negative will also be rectified. Okay, that means if you are having only one diode, if you are having only one diode, okay, one diode, so it will only rectify one particular phase or one particular peak value. The negative it cannot rectify. But if you are having full wave rectifier like this, full wave rectifier bridge, okay, full wave rectifier bridge, if you can remember, so it can rectify both. Now if you want to have, say, if you are not talking about 3 phase, this is these two were of single phase. Now comes the picture of 3 phase. Now comes the picture of 3 phase. Now if I talk about 3 phase, then we will need how many rectifiers? 3 rectifiers, because in 3 phase we will need 3 rectifiers, because for each phase we will have one rectifier each. That means suppose we have R, okay, Y and B like this. So we will use one rectifier for Y, one rectifier for R, one rectifier for B, like this. Okay, so that means the supply is 3 phase in this way. So our rectification will look like this. Okay, now comes the 6 pulse. Now once we are using 6 pulse, remember this is 0, this one is 0, this is 0, okay, this is pi, this is 2 pi, same here, pi and 2 pi. Now for 6 pulse we are using 6 combinations of thyristors. So obviously our rectification will be like this: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but generally it is not like that, because there is some you can say the rectification looks like this. Okay, because there is some gap, because when one is rectified and another one is starting, okay, so it is not completed, okay, because it generally overlaps, so that is good. So we get a waveform like this. Okay, this is pi, this is 0, this is 2 pi. Okay, so that means it is called 6 pulse because one complete cycle is divided into 6 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, as we have shown in this, as I've shown in this particular video. Okay, and this is the setup. Okay, so as we were discussing, now see the last point as we were discussing, that because of the unavoidable inductance in the line, the transition from one pair conducting to the next pair does not happen instantly. So transition does not happen instantly. So what happens? Rather, there is a short overlap period when two valves on the same row of the bridge are conducting simultaneously. That means there is an overlap period. That means when the two valves are conducting in this way, okay, so when suppose V1 and V2 are conducting, then when the V3 is coming into picture, then the conduction has not completed for V1 and V2. Okay, so for example, if V1 and V2 are initially conducting, then valve V3 is turned on using the firing angle. V3 is turned on, conduction passes from V1 to V3, but for a short period both of these conduct simultaneously. That means V1 and V2 and V3 will be conducting now. So V3 and V4 will be conducting. So since V1 and V2 has not completed but V3 has been triggered or fired, it has turned on, so V1 and V3 will conduct simultaneously. That is why we will see that we are getting a waveform like this. Previously the waveform was one was completed, the rectification was completed, then the second started, but in this case the rectification takes place in this way. There is overlap. Okay, so during this period the DC voltage is given by the average of the voltages of phase 1, phase 2 minus the voltage of phase 3, because phase 1 and phase 2, because V1 and V2 were first operating. If you can remember, V1 and V2 were operating. Now V3 has started. So V3 has started, so V2 has been switched off, but V1 also be switched off, but V1 is not switched off yet. So the voltage will be V1 of V3 minus V2, V1 plus V3 minus V2. So the average voltages of phase 1 and phase 2 minus phase 3. Why minus phase 3? Because phase 3 is connected to the second valve. Okay, so this is phase 1, this is phase 1, this is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 2, and this is phase 3. Okay, okay, so the overlap angle, that is denoted by mu, okay, in an HVDC converter increases with load current, but it typically around 20 degree at full load. So as the load current increases, the overlapping angle also increases. Now during the overlap period, the output DC voltage is lower than it could be otherwise be, and the overlap period produces a visible notch in the DC voltage. So generally there is a notch is observed. Okay, some notch means like this, some notch in this way, this notch is observed. That is why, as I've told you, that we generally use a capacitor. Okay, so there is a capacitor present over here at this end. We generally use a sets of capacitors. Okay, capacitor, because if capacitor is used, then there is an advantage that we will get a smooth graph, or you can say a smooth rectification. Because if there is a ripple like this, okay, if there is a ripple like this, as I've told you, so if the number of pulses increases, the ripple reduces, but still there will be ripple and notches will be there. So if the capacitor is connected in this way, so what happens when the DC is rectified? Okay, when the DC is rectified and the output, we have a resistance, suppose, which is collecting the DC power. Okay, now we know that the capacitor stores charges, so it is storing the charge, and first of all the capacitor will store charge and then it will discharge. So the capacitor voltage is Vc and the resistance is connected parallel to it, the resistance voltage will also be Vc. So when it discharges, after discharging, the capacitor will give a smooth voltage, a smooth line like this, which is equals to Vc. That is why capacitors are used for filtering, when that means giving a smooth curve of the for the DC. Okay. So an important effect of this is that the mean DC output voltage decreases as the overlap period increases, hence the DC voltage falls into the increasing current. So what happens as the effect of this particular overlapping takes place? Okay, so the DC voltage, or as the DC voltage decreases, as the overlap increases, DC voltage decreases, so the notch becomes more and more prominent. Okay, so notch has to be eliminated. Okay, so the mean DC voltage of a 6 pulse is given by, this is the actual DC voltage, which is the average voltage also, where the VLL peak is nothing but the peak value of the line to line input voltage on the converter side of the converter station, or transformer, sorry. So it is the line to line peak voltage. So this is the actual AC voltage, means line to line voltage, 3-phase voltage, line to line. So after the voltage which is stepped up by the converting transformer, then it is input is given to the converting station for rectification. So before rectification, the peak voltage, or you can say the line to line peak voltage of the AC voltage is VLL peak, that is this voltage 3 times, because it's 3 phase, and after doing this calculation we get the DC average voltage. But alpha is the firing angle of the thyristor. So firing angle of the thyristor plays an important role to control this overlapping period. So if the firing of a thyristor is not done properly, then there will be chances of more and more overlapping. Okay, and if overlapping is there, so if you see, if alpha value is increased, then the cos alpha value will decrease, because we know cos of 0 is maximum, and if the alpha value increases more and more, the cos of that particular value decreases. So if the firing angle is increased, okay, so DC will decrease, DC voltage will decrease. So overlapping firing angle is increased means it is ahead of time, it is done ahead of time. So that means it will result in more and more notch and decrease in the DC voltage. And LC is the commutating inductance per phase, and ID is the direct current, that is the DC current. Okay, so firing angle represents the time delay from the point at which the voltage across a valve becomes positive. That means it is the time delay. That means the time delay is necessary for, if you want to switch valve 1, and after that, after the angle of pi by 3, valve 2 has to be switched on, or valve 3 has to be switched on, because valve 1 and valve 2 was operating. Now after pi by 3, when the next ripple is coming, when the next rectification is required for the second pulse, the second set of thyristor should be switched on. So if the time delay is very specific, it has to be very specific. So firing angle from the point at which the voltage across the DC becomes positive and thyristor being turned on. From the foregoing equation, it is clear that the firing angle increases, the DC mean value or the mean voltage output decreases. Okay, so in fact, with a line commutator converter, the firing angle represents the only fast way of controlling the converter. So firing angle control is used to regulate the DC output, DC voltages of both ends of the HVDC continuously in order to obtain the desired level of power transfer. So the DC voltage of the converter steadily becomes less positive as the firing angle is increased. That means firing angles of up to 90 degree correspond to rectification and result in DC voltages, while firing angles above 90 degree of inversion. So as I've told you that the same converting station 6 pulse converter is called 6 pulse converter, because if the firing angle is within 90 degree, then it is used for a 6 pulse rectifier, and more than 90 degree it is used as a 6 pulse inverter. That is, the firing angle plays an important role, but firing angle before the 6 pulse completes, okay, so the angle should be within the limit. If the angle keeps on increasing, then the DC voltage will decrease. Okay. So however, the firing angle cannot be extended all the way to 180 degree for two reasons. So we cannot extend it to 180 degree because 0 to 90, then 90 to 180 is generally observed or practically possible, but we generally don't do that because of the two reasons. First, allowance must be made for the overlap angle mu, and secondly for the additional extinction angle, that is the gamma, which is needed for the valves to recover their ability to withstand positive voltage after conducting current. That means there is some restriction. First one is the overlapping angle, because as the angle overlaps, okay, so if angle is, the total firing angle is increased to 180 degree, then the overlapping angle will be more. Okay. Secondly, there is some requirement of the recovery angle also, okay, for the recovery also, which is called the additional extinction angle. Recovery because to withstand the positive voltage after conducting current, because when there is a negative pulse, as you can see, when there is a negative pulse like this, the previous one, okay, this one, there is a positive pulse, then positive, and then positive. Okay, then first one positive here, then negative here, then positive here. So when negative is observed, then after when there is a positive pulse, so there should be some recovery time. So because the valve has to be, you can say, switched off, or it has to be reversed. Okay, so this recovery time needs to be there. So that recovery time is nothing but the recovery angle. That is why this particular, typically, one second, the particular extinction angle is related to the turn off time of the thyristors, and typically it is 15 degree. Okay, the angle is 15 degree, and the values of alpha, beta and mu are related like this. Okay, so alpha is the firing angle, mu is the overlapping angle, and gamma is the recovery. Okay, so all will be added to give you 180 degree. So alpha plus mu plus gamma should be 180 degree. So that is why you cannot go to directly 180 degree. The alpha cannot be 180 degree because there is mu and gamma also. Okay, because within the entire picture, okay, within this entire 280 degree, okay, this has to be there. So firing angle is from 0 to 180. Firing angle is from 0 to 180. So everything, that is firing angle, and mu is also there, and gamma is also there. So gamma you cannot avoid, and mu you has to minimize as much as possible. Okay, so depending upon that, the value of alpha is set. Okay, so we have discussed about this 6 pulse. Now if I consider about 12 pulse, so our next discussion will be of 12 pulse. Okay, line commutator 12 pulse. Now by this particular diagram, if I now draw in this way, I think I don't have to explain too much, because all of you can understand what is 12 pulse. You can say tell by your own, of your own. Still, for better understanding, I am explaining once again, because it is recorded. Okay. So these are the 6, you can say, segments we have taken, but in 12 pulse we will have 12 segments, because in 12 pulse, in each segment we will have double rectification like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means there is a requirement of another segment also. Okay, so now you can see in 12 pulse it is becoming more and more smooth, isn't it? So if there is overlapping, then also the overlapping will be like this, the notch will be like this, but still it is moving towards a more straight curve. Okay, so you can compare that previously for single phase half wave we have only half wave, that is not at all utilized anywhere. Then for full wave rectifier single phase we generally use this, and with the help of capacitor we are able to get a smooth curve almost. But for 3 phase 6 pulse is generally used, and but still 6 pulse have some limitations, because in order to get a smoother curve we use 12 pulse. So this is a 12 pulse. Okay, so it is a 12 pulse rectifier. Okay. So line commutated 12 pulse bridge. So with a phase change only every 60 degree, considerable harmonic distortion is produced at both AC and DC terminals when the 6 pulse arrangements are used. So that means, since we have seen that in 6 pulse, this was the 6 pulse, every pulse was pi by 3, that is 60 degree. Okay, so since 60 degree is lot compared to if you considering the 360 degree, so 60 degree is quite considerable amount. So that 60 degree of the pulse is sufficient to create harmonics, because in the planning, HVDC planning, we have discussed that the major threat or disadvantage of HVDC is that in the converting station there is a lot of harmonics. Okay, harmonics means the fundamental frequency of AC is carried along with different frequencies also, that is second order, third order. That is, if the fundamental frequency is 50 Hz, then we can also get some signals of you can say waveform of 100 Hz or 150 Hz or 200 Hz, like that. As a result, the quality of the power reduces, so we will not get a perfect sinusoidal wave. Just like in rectification we do not get a perfect DC wave, similarly we do not also get a perfect AC wave. So that means after rectification we are using you can say filters of like capacitors, okay, which will help us to give a smooth curve like this, a smooth wave. But remember, same converter setup, 6 pulse or 12 pulse, same converter setup is used in AC to DC as well as back to DC to AC. So this is used for AC to DC, but for DC to AC, when we are doing the inversion, so we are inverting back to AC. So in that case also, if harmonics are there, then the smooth curve we will not get. We will get a curve like this. Okay, resultant curve will be like this. So that is also not desirable. So that means the harmonics is a threat in case of 6 pulse converter also, 6 pulse bridge. Okay. So large filtering components are needed to restore the waveforms to sinusoidal. That means when inverter, in the case of an inverter station, large filters are used for converting the DC back to AC in a smooth curve. Okay, so hence this arrangement of this particular you can say this particular filters, large filters, is quite expensive, and it is quite complicated for operation also. That is why it was observed that if we increase the number of pulses, double the number of pulses from 6 pulse to 12 pulse, and after experiments it is observed that the harmonics have been reduced, and the waveform not only for AC to DC becomes smooth, but for DC to AC the harmonics can be neglected, but it is reduced to a much more greater extent. Okay, and thus the AC signal is also smoothed. So that means in 12 pulse, it is not only that the example I have shown you in this particular waveform, it is for DC to AC to DC only. This everything I have shown you, this is rectification. But the opposite one, the inverter portion, I have not shown you. Okay, because in the inverter portion you will see that with the introduction of the influence of harmonics, we are getting this distorted AC. Okay, just like in 6 pulse we get this distorted DC, but in 12 pulse we almost get a smooth curve. Similarly, in 12 pulse inverter also we also get a smoother, you can say, AC, but it is not 100% smooth. We will require some filters, but still the impact of the filters will be required less. Okay, because we are using a 12 pulse. One second. Okay. So a 12 pulse is effectively two 6 pulse bridges connected in series on the DC side and arranged with a phase displacement between their respective AC supplies so that some of the harmonic voltages and currents are cancelled. So it is a kind of a combination of two 6 pulses in series. So if two 6 pulse converters are connected in series, so what happens? The harmonics gets cancelled. Okay, so as a result, it is more, you can say, effective for the inverter station rather than the rectifier station. So the phase displacement between the two AC supplies is usually 30 degrees. So previously we have seen for 6 pulse, every pulse was having a angle of how much? 60 degree. Now in this case the angle is 30 degree. Okay. Usually one of the valve winding is star connected and other is delta connected. Okay, so I am just showing you this particular figure. You can see this one is the 12 pulse. Okay, so this is the AC side. AC is star connected, so this star represents the AC. Okay, then it is connected to the two sets of rectifiers. One is star connected and other one is delta connected. So upper one is star connected, this one is delta connected. Okay, so two 6 pulses connected in series. So there are 12 valves. Okay, and each valves are having a set of thyristors. So this is just for your understanding that each valve does not mean that each valve has only one thyristor. It is having a sets of thyristors. Okay, so with 12 valves connecting each of the two sets of 3 phase to 2 DC rails, there is a phase change every 30 degree, and the levels of the low frequency harmonics are constantly reduced, considerably simplifying the filtering requirements. So that means the low frequency harmonics, that is, they suppose second order, third order, fourth order, these harmonics are reduced because the angle transition, that means the triggering or the firing of the angle takes place in every 30 seconds. So the pulses are of 30 degree actually. The pulses are only for 30 degree. So if for a 50 hertz frequency, if I say that it is divided into 12 segments, so what is the time period of the 50 hertz frequency waveform? 20 milliseconds. So if you divide it by 12, so every particular segment or every pulse is less than 2 milliseconds, isn't it? So that means for every less than 2 milliseconds, if we are getting a rectification, so it is not only smooth but also the harmonics, when it is we are using as an inverter, then also the inverter, the AC DC to AC becomes smoother. Okay, so what I am trying to conclude is that the choice between 6 pulse converter and the 12 pulse converter is very simple. 12 pulse is better because the requirement of 12 pulse is more on the inverter side than the rectifier side, because in the inverter side 12 pulse helps us for rectification in a smooth way, but in inverter station the 12 pulse helps a lot because it minimizes the small order of the harmonics. So this you have to remember. So if the question asked in any Viva or anywhere, why we should go for 12 pulse for the converter, so the answer will be that 12 pulse rectifier is much more smoother, but 12 pulse when it is used as an inverter, it is more beneficial because it reduces the harmonics, so that the filter arrangement requirement is minimized. Okay, so for this reason the 12 pulse has become standard on almost all line commutator converter DC HVDC systems. So generally whenever you are using the line commutated converters LCC, because we have seen that previously Mercury valve LCC were used, now thyristor based Mercury valve thyristor based line commutated converters are used, LCCs are used. Okay, so everywhere nowadays 12 pulses are used for the converter. So although the HVDC systems built with Mercury valves make provisions for temporary operation with one of the two 6 pulse groups bypass, so Mercury valves are become obsolete, but Mercury valves cannot operate for 12 pulse, so that is why they use 6 pulse, but thyristor valves use 12 pulse. Okay, so now we will have discussed about the line commutated converter, that is the current control converters. Now we will discuss about the voltage source converters. Okay, so voltage source, these are of different property because their arrangement, or you can say their control, is regarding the voltage on the side of the voltage. Okay, so this kind of converters have more advantages over the line commutator converters, because these converters use IGBTs. Okay, you have said IGBT I think in power electronics. So why they are much more you can say advantageous, because in what sense? See, VSC, since they use IGBTs, they introduce less harmonic distortion. That is why in VSCs 12 pulse is not at all required, because the performance which a 6 pulse VSC can provide, it is far better than the 12 pulse LCCs. So there is no requirement of a 12 pulse VSC. Okay, so because thyristors and Mercury rectifiers can only be turned on and not off. So this is the main drawback of the thyristors, that it can be turned off by control action, rather it cannot be turned on by control action and rely on the external AC system to effect the turn off process. So you cannot control the turn off of a thyristor, it has to be manually turned off if you turn off the AC system. Okay, the control system has only 1 degree of freedom when in this cycle to turn on the thyristor. That means the control system for the particular thyristor setup is only for the turning it on. Okay, so off property, okay, cannot be introduced, which is a drawback. So limitations of the usefulness of HVDC in some circumstances, because it means that the AC system to which the HVDC converter is connected must always contain synchronous machines in order to provide the timing for the commutating voltage. That means if the HVDC is connected to this particular HVDC converter of the thyristor, then it has to be always connected to synchronous machine. Why? Because it needs continuous supply. Okay, you cannot turn it off, it needs continuous supply. This is a problem. This is not actually problem supplying additional power to the grid, but already live, but cannot be used as sole source of power. That means if you are connecting HVDC to a grid, okay, but you are not using the HVDC line solely for a particular zone. Suppose you are using HVDC for a typical zone, not connecting to grid as a you can say means a sole power source, then in that case you cannot use thyristors. Okay, because thyristors can only be used, thyristor controlled this particular 12 pulse converter with the LCC line commutator thyristors, these are only used for grid connections. because of this main drawback of not able to turn off by control action. But for sole power supply, sole source of power, it cannot be used. With other types of semiconductors such as the insulated gate bipolar transistor, which I have told that it is the IGBT, both turn off and on timing can be controlled, giving a second degree of freedom. That means this liberty to turn on and off, this liberty is observed in case of a IGBT, you can say transistors, okay, or IGBT converters, because it is able to this semiconductor device is able to turn on and off both, giving a huge amount of freedom for the design, or you can say the engineers, to design the converter in a such a way that it can be utilized for a sole source of power as well. So as a result, IGBTs can be used to make self-commutated converters which are closer to large inverter in operation. So these are called the self-commutated converters. So commutated means it can be, commutation can be done solely by its own control action. Okay, so in such converters, the polarity of the DC voltage is usually fixed, and the DC voltage being smoothed by a large capacitance can be considered constant. So the DC voltage polarity is fixed because with the help of the IGBTs, since it is turned on and turned off, so this overlapping problem is also not there, because the overlapping problem of the LCC 6 pulse and 12 pulse also there was overlapping, because we have seen that the overlapping angle was mu, which is equals to 180 degree minus alpha minus gamma. Okay, so in this case the overlapping can be minimized because the turn off action is there. Okay, so we are getting a polarity, fixed polarity for DC voltage. Okay, so the use of the capacitor bank or capacitors can also be reduced, but capacitor generally used was smoothing, because perfect smoothing of the DC rectified voltage is not possible with a capacitor. Okay. For this reason, the HVDC converter using IGBTs is usually referred to as the voltage source converter. It is a voltage source converter because the DC polarity is fixed. Unlike the LCC one, the DC polarity was not fixed because due to the firing angle, okay, because there was no gate turn off, only turn on was there, so the overlapping angle was there. Okay, so that is why the polarity was not certain in case of DC output, but in case of IGBT, the polarity of the DC voltage is certain, because it can be the IGBTs which are used for the converters has this property of turn off. Okay, so additional controllability gives many advantages, notably the ability to switch the IGBTs on and off many times per cycle in order to improve the harmonic, and the fact that the self-commutated and the converter no longer relies on the synchronous meshing in AC system for this operation. So in the LCC, what happens, the turn on and off portion, turn on was done by the thyristors, but off was not possible. So the AC system, the synchronous meshing AC system which are connected to the AC system, we have to rely on that for the turn off operation, because the supply was off, then only it was turned off, otherwise it was not turned off for thyristors. So our VSC, voltage source converter, can therefore feed power to a AC network consisting only of passive loads, smoothing which is impossible with, or something which is not impossible, not possible or impossible with the LCC HVDC. Okay, so the VSCs are considerably more compact and line commutator converters, mainly because much less harmonic filter is needed, and are preferable to line commutator converters in locations where space is at a premium, for example of offshore platform. That means these VSCs are much more compact in structure. Why? Because the filtering capability is inside it, because IGBTs are generally more complex in construction compared to a normal thyristor. Okay, So this entire setup, okay, because if you're using a 6 pulse converter of IGBT, so it is much more compact because it is having the ability to since turn on and turn off, and more importantly it has harmonic filtering inside it. So not only it reduces the harmonics, okay, because 12 pulse rectifier or 12 pulse inverter for the LCC has that capability of reducing harmonics, but this VSC has more capability of reducing harmonics. So you can say a 6 pulse VSC is much more superior compared to a 12 pulse LCC in every aspect. Okay. So in contrast to the LC, that is line commutated, VSC maintains a constant polarity of the DC voltage, and the power reversal is achieved instead by the reversing the direct current. So this makes VSC converters much easier to connect into the multi-terminal HVDC or the DC grid. So that means this VSC maintains a constant polarity. So this is very, very important for the DC supply. So the DC has to be constant, otherwise you are not supplying constant voltage, because in DC we don't have frequency. So the voltage has to be constant because only one particular voltage is there. Okay, it has to be constant. The power reversal is achieved instead by reversing the current reversing the direct current. That means the power reversal can be done without the direction of the changing the direction of the direct current. So without changing the direction of the direct current, if power reversal is achieved, then we can say that it can be utilized in DC grid also. Okay, because in DC grid this power reversal is very important, because whenever there is a load demand in anywhere, the power shift can be done with own flexible way. So if power shifting is done in own flexible way, then there is a less problem of switching. Okay, that means if they connected to grid, so grid connection, you know, it is a bus bar. Okay, it is a bus bar like this, incoming and outgoing line. Okay, now in DC bus bar, the voltage is fixed. This is very, very important. Voltage magnitude and actually magnitude, because there is no phase sequence, number one, there is no frequency. So only thing to keep in mind is the voltage magnitude and the direction of the current. So HVDC systems based on this VSC normally use the 6 pulse connection, because the converter produces much less harmonic distortion than a comparable LCC, and the 12 pulse connection is unnecessary. As I told you, the 12 pulse VSC is not at all utilized, because I have just shown you over here that 12 pulse VSC is much more superior to the 6 pulse VSC is much more superior to the 12 pulse LCC, because this 12 pulse LCC has the ability to minimize the harmonics. Give me 1 second. So the 12 pulse LCC has the ability to reduce the small order harmonics, as I've told you, which is superior to 6 pulse LCC. But the 6 pulse VSC is much more superior to 12 pulse LCC even, because of the application of the IGBT. Okay, so with the help of IGBT, the 6 pulse VSC is much more superior because it is compact in structure. You can see it is compact. So since it is more compact, it is having the filtering ability inside it. Okay, because there is less requirement of filtering. Okay, much less filtering is needed, so our effective cost is reduced. So in 12 pulse, filtering cost was huge, but in 6 pulse VSC, if the filtering is done by itself, majority of the filtering, then we don't require the additional requirement of excessive filtering. So that is why it is much more advantageous. So 12 pulse is not at all required. 12 pulse VSC is very unnecessary, because 6 pulse can perform the total task of the full wave rectification without any harmonics. So this simplifies the construction of the converter transformer. Okay, so because converter transformer, if you talk about the inverter side, so in inverter also converter transformer is required, isn't it? Because in HVDC the AC is rectified to DC, then DC transmission is taking place. So when the DC transmission is taking place from DC to AC, then the AC voltage after DC to AC, that means from DC to AC, the DC voltage was suppose 800 kV. The AC voltage will also be 800 kV, isn't it? Now, if without the help of a transformer, we cannot step down to say 66 kV or 33 kV. So we require a transformer. So if the voltage which is in AC, if it is harmonic free, okay, that means the transformer can also be operated in a much safer way. Okay, otherwise there is a very risk for the transformer operation also, because transformers are very expensive. One of the most expensive components of the transformers, other than the alternators. Okay. So however, there are several different configurations of the VSCs, and research is continuing to take place in the new alternatives. So more and more different alternatives methods are used in the VSCs field also. Okay. Now there are 2-level converters, all these things are there. So I will not start this portion now, okay, because it will be too much, because you may saturate almost. So just tell me that what is the difference of the VSC and LCC. I think you have understood, isn't it? And most importantly, the concept of 6 pulse and 12 pulse. So Deepak, so I think there was too much information today, but I think this information was very much vital for you all, because the difference of 6 pulse and 12 pulse. So was it clear to you, the concept of 6 pulse and 12 pulse?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this difference of 6 pulse and 12 pulse, so that means if you increase the number of pulses, yes, obviously more than 12 pulse is not possible, because theoretically you may do that, and in MATLAB also you may achieve it, but practical designing of a 12 pulse is very cumbersome task. Okay, because it is much more complicated, and there is a lot of chances of firing angle mismatching, so it may result in huge amount of distortion. Okay, harmonic distortion may happen in the inverter side also, and in DC side also the ripples may look like this. Okay, so filtering is obviously required, because with the help of filtering, what we can do, we can get a smooth curve. So this filtering portion also I have explained to you, that if you use a filter, that means generally the filters are mostly used are the capacitors. With the help of capacitors, since the capacitors are charging itself, they are charging, so then they are discharging. So before the discharge, you have to be charged voltage VC. Then when they discharge across any load, okay, so obviously the discharge voltage will also be VC. This is positive, this is negative. So they will get a stiff, you can say a stable curve. But yes, if you disconnect this one, and then if the capacitor is discharged, then you will get a discharging voltage like this, which you have already studied in circuit theory. But since the supply is continuous, so that is why the capacitor is never discharged. It is charging and discharging simultaneously. That is why you are getting a smooth curve like this, straight line. Because charging and discharging should be taken at the same time. Okay. So this was the basics of the you can say 6 pulse and 12 pulse LCCs. Okay, and then the operation with 12 pulse, how is the operation done? That is actually you have studied it, I think, in the power electronics. Okay, that is why I'm just not repeating those portions. I have just shown you the basic thing, you can say the operation or actual the significance of these two pulses. Okay. Then the concept of VSC. Why VSC? Because VSCs are using the insulator gate bipolar transistor, that is the IGBTs. Because IGBTs have the ability of turn off. Okay, and more importantly, the IGBTs has less harmonic distortion. It can reduce harmonics to a much more extent. So it is why 6 pulse IGBT is sufficient. That means 6 pulse VSC is sufficient, and it is more superior compared to a 12 pulse LCC, that is thyristor based LCC. Okay, so 12 pulse VSC is not at all used because that is not important. It is totally unnecessary. Okay, so I think you have understood what is pulse. So, and the rectification process also you have understood. Okay, next class we will discuss about the 2-level converter and the 3-level converter, and also the different you can say the chart of the converters. Okay, and then we will end this topic, and then we will come to the next topic. Okay, or go to the next topic. Okay, do you have any concept of fax devices? Before leaving, I am just asking you, do you have the concept of fax devices? Flexible AC transmission system, have you studied? Or do you know? Anyone? Okay, so these fax devices will be discussed in this particular subject itself. So I would suggest that you please go through the power electronics subject, okay, which you have studied in your last semester, because this HVDC transmission subject is very much related to the power electronics subject. So you please go through those IGBTs, okay, and you study that 6 pulse full wave rectification and inverter portion also, okay, in the back end, so that when we come back to the next class with our discussion, so it will be easier for you. Okay, so Deepak, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So you can see that if you have some gap, then it is not at all, it will not help you. Okay, so you have to fulfill that gap. So you must go through those portions. Okay, you don't have to study the entire subject once again. You just go through that converter portion and the inverter portion. That is sufficient, I would say. Okay, and the few
Yes, sir.
few idea of the IGBT, that will help you. Thyristor and IGBT. Okay. Okay, rest we have with Preeti Kumari and Ritesh. I think he has left out. Okay, and there is another. Okay, Shambhas Singh. Okay, so then thank you, students. So we will meet again in the next class. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.